An Israeli soldier has reportedly been killed after a Hezbollah guided missile struck a fortified position on the Lebanon border. The attack marks another dangerous escalation in a conflict that is rapidly spreading across the region. As missiles strike the border, rockets rain on northern Israel, and Israel intensifies its attacks on Iranian targets, the Middle East is staring at a widening war. What was once a tense standoff is now tipping into something far more volatile. The incident unfolded at the newly established Balat outpost in southern Lebanon, where Israeli troops had set up a fortified position. According to reports and footage from the area, Hezbollah fighters launched a Kornet guided missile directly at the Israeli position. The missile struck the outpost with devastating precision. The Israeli military later confirmed that one IDF soldier was killed in the strike. But the escalation did not stop there. Hezbollah also launched a rocket barrage toward the northern Israeli city of Kiryat Shmona, triggering sirens across the region and forcing residents into bomb shelters. The attack underscores growing fears that Israel's northern border is once again becoming a major battlefield, and tensions are now spilling into Lebanese politics as well. According to a source familiar with the situation, Hezbollah has issued a stark directive to its members. If the Lebanese army attempts to dismantle Hezbollah positions or stop rocket launches, they are to confront them directly. The instruction, according to the source, is clear and uncompromising. If the Lebanese army intervenes, Hezbollah fighters have been ordered to resist and confront them. This dramatic directive comes as the Lebanese government has recently begun taking steps against Iranian influence inside the country. In a series of moves that signal a shift in policy, Lebanon has imposed new visa requirements on Iranian citizens, effectively tightening entry rules. Beirut has also designated the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC, as an illegal organization. And in another significant development, Lebanese authorities have expelled senior Iranian officials from the country. At the same time, Israel is intensifying its military campaign against Iranian targets across the region. The Israeli Defense Forces confirmed that a recent strike in Beirut killed 5 senior commanders from the IRGC's Quds Force Lebanese Corps. The operation targeted a hotel in Beirut where the commanders were reportedly staying. According to the IDF, the strike was carried out by the Israeli Navy based on intelligence from the Military Intelligence Directorate. Israel described the operation as a significant and necessary blow to Iranian presence in Lebanon and to Hezbollah's operational network. But Israel's campaign is not limited to Lebanon. The Israeli military has also confirmed that it carried out a strike on the headquarters of the IRGC Aerospace Force in Tehran. IDF spokesman Brigadier General Efi Defren said the attack was part of a wider wave of operations. In the past 24 hours alone, Israel claims it has struck around 140 targets inside Iran.
In a powerful strike by Natema full strike, we destroyed the Revolutionary Guards Air Force headquarters. From this destroyed headquarters, the regime directed missile and drone fire towards Israel's home front and other countries in the region. The image now displayed on the screen, revealed for the first time, shows Amir Ali Hajizadeh, the former commander of the Revolutionary Guards Air Force, who was eliminated in an operation by our forces. From the headquarters where he is pictured, he managed and led the execution of a terror plot. We attacked the headquarters and completely destroyed it.
In its recent operation, the IDF attacked over 140 Iranian regime targets with over 900 munitions.
Earlier today, we announced the tragic deaths of 2 combat engineers from Battalion 91, Staff Sergeant Meir Khatar, 38 years old, from Maid al-Shams, and an additional soldier whose name has not yet been cleared for publication. May their memory be a blessing. The soldiers were killed as a result of hostile fire directed at our forces, who were actively protecting the communities and residents of the north.
conflict between Israel and Hezbollah appears to be entering a dangerous new phase. Early Monday morning, Hezbollah announced that its fighters had confronted an Israeli helicopter landing attempt in eastern Lebanon's Bekaa Valley, claiming that one of the aircraft was struck during intense clashes near the town of Nabi Sheet. According to a statement released by Hezbollah's military wing, also known as the Islamic Resistance in Lebanon, their fighters detected what they described as a large Israeli airborne operation shortly after midnight local time. At approximately 12:10 a.m. Beirut time, Hezbollah said it observed around 15 Israeli military helicopters approaching the region from the direction of Syria. The aircraft reportedly flew over several villages along Lebanon's eastern mountain range, including Jenta, Yafufa, Nabi Sheet, Arsal, and Ras Baalbek, areas located close to the Syrian-Lebanese border. Hezbollah said several helicopters attempted to deploy Israeli infantry forces in the Surgaya Plain, an area near the border region. According to the group's statement, fighters immediately engaged both the helicopters and the troops that were attempting to advance toward Lebanese territory. Local reports from the Bekaa region indicated that the confrontation quickly escalated into an intense firefight involving anti-aircraft weapons, machine guns, and other battlefield equipment. A correspondent from the Lebanese newsnet Al Mayadin reported that during the engagement, Hezbollah managed to strike one of the Israeli helicopters involved in the operation. However, there has been no independent confirmation from Israeli officials regarding whether any aircraft were damaged or forced to withdraw. Meanwhile, Lebanon's official national news agency reported heavy clashes in the Al-Shara area near the outskirts of Nabi Sheet. According to the agency, Israeli forces had attempted a helicopter landing on high ground along the eastern mountain chain near the Lebanese-Syrian border. The report described ongoing confrontations between Hezbollah fighters and Israeli troops, as well as heavy aerial activity over the region. Israeli warplanes and reconnaissance drones were reportedly flying intensely above the area, apparently providing cover for the Israeli force attempting to advance. This latest confrontation follows another failed infiltration attempt reported just 2 days earlier. On Saturday, Hezbollah said it thwarted a similar Israeli airborne landing operation near the same town of Nabi Sheet. In that earlier incident, Israeli helicopters reportedly attempted to deploy troops in the area, but were met with a prepared ambush by Hezbollah fighters. According to local reports, the ambush triggered heavy fighting involving small arms and medium-caliber weapons. Witnesses in the region also reported hearing the sound of anti-aircraft fire and heavy machine gun bursts echoing through the mountains as the clashes unfolded.
Some helicopters were said to have landed on the Syrian side of the border during that operation, while Israeli aircraft carried out what were described as fire belts, intense bombardments around Nabi Sheet to support the military maneuver. Following those airstrikes, Lebanon's Ministry of Health reported casualties in the area. Officials stated that Israeli attacks on Nabi Sheet in the Baalbek district resulted in the deaths of 3 civilians and left at least 16 others wounded. At the same time, fighting has also been reported in southern Lebanon. In the town of Qiyam, Hezbollah fighters from the group's elite Radwan force reportedly engaged Israeli troops attempting to advance into the area. According to regional reports,
Hezbollah used explosive devices and Kornet anti-tank guided missiles during the confrontation. Some Israeli media outlets described the situation as very serious, reporting that Israeli forces were facing difficulty extracting special operations units believed to be operating near the conflict zone. If confirmed, these developments would mark one of the most intense cross-border confrontations between Israel and Hezbollah in recent months. The Bekaa Valley has long been considered a strategic region for Hezbollah due to its proximity to the Syrian border and key supply routes. Military analysts say helicopter insertion operations are typically used by special forces to conduct raids, reconnaissance missions, or targeted operations behind enemy lines. However, such missions carry significant risk, particularly in mountainous terrain, where anti-aircraft weapons and ambush tactics can quickly turn an operation into a dangerous confrontation. As of now, neither the Israeli military nor independent international observers have fully verified all details of the reported clashes. But what is clear is that tensions along the Israel-Lebanon front continue to intensify. With ongoing exchanges of fire, aerial operations, and attempted ground incursions, the risk of a broader regional escalation remains a growing concern. For now, the situation in eastern and southern Lebanon remains volatile, with both sides appearing prepared for further confrontation.
Hezbollah has unleashed a fresh wave of attacks against Israel, dramatically escalating tensions across the northern front as the wider regional conflict intensifies. Rockets and attack drones were launched from southern Lebanon toward key Israeli cities and military installations, marking one of the most aggressive assaults in recent weeks. In a major escalation, Hezbollah fighters fired large rocket barrages toward the Israeli port city of Haifa, while also launching swarms of attack drones at strategic targets. Air raid sirens echoed across northern Israel as residents rushed into shelters and Israeli air defenses scrambled to intercept the incoming projectiles. Israeli media reported that more than 40 rockets were launched from Lebanon in the latest barrage alone. Some of the projectiles were described as heavy rockets, capable of causing significant destruction. Several impacts were reported in and around Haifa, raising fears that the conflict is rapidly expanding beyond the immediate border areas. The assault quickly intensified. Within a short period, additional rockets and drone swarms were launched toward the northern coastal city of Nahariya. According to Israeli outlets, nearly 100 launches from Lebanon occurred within just 30 minutes, overwhelming air defense systems and forcing thousands of civilians into shelters. Hezbollah also targeted the northern settlement of Kiryat Shmona with attack drones, signaling a coordinated multi-directional offensive across Israel's northern region. Just hours before the attacks began, Hezbollah issued warnings to residents in Nahariya and Kiryat Shmona, urging them to evacuate southward. Israeli settlers later told local media that Hezbollah had fulfilled its promise to bombard the region after issuing those warnings, suggesting the strikes were carefully planned and deliberately timed. But the attacks did not stop at civilian areas. Hezbollah also directed its fire toward critical Israeli military infrastructure. One of the most alarming targets was an Iron Dome radar installation at the Kiryat Eliezer site in Haifa, a key component of Israel's missile defense network. Reports indicate that specialized missiles were used in the strike, raising concerns that Hezbollah may be attempting to weaken Israel's ability to intercept incoming rockets. Another significant strike reportedly targeted the Tel Hashem Air Base, the headquarters of the Israeli military's general staff, located southeast of Tel Aviv. The base lies roughly 120 kilometers from the Lebanese border, suggesting that Hezbollah may now be deploying longer-range weapons capable of reaching deeper into Israeli territory. If confirmed, such an attack would represent one of the deepest strikes linked to Hezbollah since the latest escalation began. Drone operations also reportedly targeted facilities belonging to Elta Military Industries, northeast of Haifa, as well as the Haifa oil refinery, both considered highly strategic assets for Israel's defense and energy infrastructure. Meanwhile, the fighting extended to the immediate border areas. Hezbollah launched a rocket barrage toward the Ein Zaitim base near Safed, while simultaneously confronting Israeli troop movements along the frontier. Clashes intensified in southern Lebanon near the towns of Markaba and Al-Khiam. Hezbollah fighters reportedly used rockets and attack drones to strike gatherings of Israeli soldiers and military vehicles, turning the border region into a dangerous combat zone. One attack targeted a large concentration of Israeli military vehicles near the Hunin Gate opposite the town of Markaba. Another drone strike hit Israeli soldiers positioned on the south outskirts of Al-Khiam. The Israeli army later confirmed that 2 soldiers from the elite Givati brigade were wounded after an anti-tank missile was fired during the clashes in southern Lebanon. These developments come as regional tensions are already soaring amid the escalating confrontation involving Iran, Israel, and the United States. For years, military analysts have warned that a full-scale conflict with Hezbollah could unleash tens of thousands of rockets toward Israeli cities. The latest barrage is a stark reminder of that threat.